Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner Studio, and with me today I have Allison Ross. She's a candidate for Warren County Treasurer, and we have the Warren County Treasurer here with us today because I thought what we could talk about is really what's the responsibilities of the treasurer, what are the things they do. You're the deputy treasurer now.
Yes.
So we would talk about experience and kind of let's go there. So, Allison, why don't you go ahead and start. Tell us, first of all, update us on your campaign, what you've been doing, and how's it look?
So far, it's been looking good. We have been at the early voting. Mm-hmm. We've been passing out all my information. I've been filling in on everybody, educating them about what the treasurer does,
right,
what I've been doing,
right,
and how we can move forward.
I don't think people really realize the treasurer. Most of the things the commissioner does, commissioner of revenue, and they blame the treasurer on it, don't they?
No.
Well, when you get your tax bill, they think that comes from the treasurer just because it says make your checks payable to the treasurer. You're not the one that sends them out. You just collect the money, right? So
that's right.
Tell us a little bit about some of the things that the process works. How do you collect this money anyway?
So, do you want me to take that? So it starts at the top with the Board of Supervisors.
Right.
And they set the tax rate. The last couple of years it's been set late because they didn't know what we were getting from the state budget.
Right.
So we've had to send bills out late and extend the penalty. And I know it's upsetting to a lot of the taxpayers, but unfortunately it's a domino effect. And once the Board of Supervisors sets the tax rate, then the Commissioner's Office creates the tax rolls. So we can't even send a bill out to collect until all of that is done.
Right.
So it's a process.
Yeah, it does roll downhill, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And we're at the very end.
Yeah,
so
you're the last one.
We're the last ones.
And yet you're the first ones to see the public.
That's it.
Correct.
We get the questions, and we're glad to tell people why.
Yeah. A lot of work.
It is.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
So what else we have? I noticed you have this you have a list here of things you want to make sure we include. So
yes,
let's go on to point number 2.
So we've had a lot of concerns and questions about what all the treasurer does. And they are confused about separation of duties between which office does what within the county.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that the treasurer and the finance department are separate.
Yeah.
We've got the finance department that handles the budgets. The treasurer does not handle anybody else's budgets except for their own.
Right.
So,
Yeah, each department does their own budgeting, but the finance department covers everyone's
Kind of
budget.
oversees the thing and pulls it all together.
yes.
Correct. And they, with the county administrator, work with the board. And Sherry, the commissioner, also helps with trying to give insight on what the tax rate could be if we collected at this tax rate versus this one. But that tax rate is set on the budget that is approved before in December or January. So they set it to what's going to be enough revenue to allow the budget to be met.
They don't want any checks to bounce.
Correct.
That's right. That's right. So the money that we're taking in, it's already spoken for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you basically have to balance a checkbook every month, don't you?
correct.
Yes.
We keep track of all the revenues and the expenditures. We keep that track and make sure that it reconciles with the bank.
So when someone writes these checks, before you write the checks. So before you get the check, you got to find out where it goes, what budget it goes under, make sure everything is all.
Nope, that's the finance.
Oh, they do that.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
put the
They
code on
actually
it.
write the
and-
checks, and we just keep track of the check numbers and the amounts and make
Because
sure
before
everything-
it gets to us, it's already approved by the Board of Supervisors or the school board. So we would just sign the checks and then account for it as far as the bank side.
Right. Well, still, taking care of money is an important job.
It is.
I mean, we don't
It's very
realize it's
important.
very detailed.
It is.
And I just even when you just go to the bank and you cash a check, or they count that twice, or 3 times, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And they have a procedure. You ever watch them because got the camera shining on them, the money's counted this way, it gets put over here, it gets laid out over here, and they count the money, and then they count it again. But you're right. I mean, same thing. You got to account for the people's money.
You got to
Yep.
account for it all. And I think experience matters.
Yeah. Have you ever looked for the penny?
Yes.
Yes.
I look for everything.
You know, when you're when
Everything
when,
has its own place.
and when it
Correct.
doesn't
It's
show
there.
up,
It
you ever
is
try
there
to-
somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, when you balance it, you got to. I mean, sometimes you spend more money to look for a. Well, they say for a penny, but for any amount of money. But it's funny how it's in there, but sometimes it takes a while to dig and find it. I know it does when I've tried to.
does.
When I've waited too long to balance the checkbook, you
Oh,
know.
no.
You know, oh, it's in the computer. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean it's right. You know. So
Right.
It's just a lot of work, and again, it takes a lot of experience. So I think you mentioned that. So I think the point is trying to say that it takes time. Now you've worked there how long?
It'll be 14 years in February.
And you started out as,
I was a deputy treasurer 1.
all right,
And that was under the late Wanda Bryant.
right. Now, a deputy treasurer 1 doesn't mean you're at the top.
No, certainly doesn't. I was actually
Goes the
part-time when I was hired as well.
What's it do? Like go 1, 2, 3?
Yes.
So really, 1 is the lowest.
Yes, that's it.
And then what did you do?
From there, I went to the deputy 2, and then I went to deputy 3, which allowed me to go into the back cubicle answering the phones.
Yeah.
And then from there, chief deputy.
Yeah, because they have different. Everyone has different responsibilities, don't they?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, are there any schooling or classes you send your deputies to?
We do have classes through the Treasurers Association that you can actually get certified through them.
So-
just like if you would receive a certificate for going to a college.
Right.
And it helps you with performance of jobs. And we have to follow a lot of state and county codes. So this also gives you education on what part of the county codes that pertain to us and for the state.
Yeah, I don't think people realize this is a constitutional office.
That's
so
right.
this is mandated by the state. State
right.
code, dictates what you do.
Correct.
Yeah, not
Yes.
just this is not a local yokel thing. This is the real deal, right?
No.
That's right. And something that I always question and wonder why is the treasurer always pushed to the side at election? It's not as
Right.
popular as some of the other ones.
Right.
But you got to think about which treasurers we've had in the past. I mean, over 50 years, you've got Doris Miller and then Wanda Bryant and now Jamie. And they've all come from the office.
Right, right. Because
So
it takes
that's-
time to
it
learn the
does.
job.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like any of those positions. Just because you might want it doesn't mean you're going to get it.
That's right.
But and I think you're true. I don't think the public really realizes, and there's not just the treasurer's office, even the commissioner of the revenue and the Commonwealth attorney, and a lot of the sheriff, all these
Yes.
offices are not just, well, I don't like the guy, so we're going to run, we're going to run. But there's a lot of work and a lot of experience, and you have to hit the ground running when you start, because when you walk out the door December 31st, the next person is there January 1st, and the work's got to continue, right?
Correct.
That's right.
Who does all the work when you're not there?
Allison is my backup, but I'm there 99% of this
I was going to say, she
time.
hardly ever takes off, but
Yeah.
when she does, and I try to get her to,
Yeah, yeah. We
So I'm
appreciate it.
there.
I know Jamie tries real hard, and I know she takes everything so personal. So,
she is a hard worker.
and we're gonna
gonna
we're gonna
miss
be
her.
sad to see you go.
Yes.
I tried all I could to get her to rerun, but
Oh, I did too.
but
Yes.
hey, you know when it's your time, and I think
Yes.
that's with any job, and where you're at in your personal life and all the other things that happen, and it's a hard decision to make. I'm sure
It was.
you stressed over it, but now once you made it, it seems so easy.
Right. It does. It felt like a weight lifted off
Yeah.
after I came to a final.
Yeah,
Decision.
yeah. And you chose Allison here to be your replacement if possible.
Yes, she is very able and capable of doing the role.
Yeah. Well, it's tough. It's hard to find somebody like that. But again, there's a lot of good people in our community, and they've all run for a lot of offices.
That's correct.
And I think the public will decide coming Tuesday on that.
That's
Anything
right.
else on your list there you want to talk about?
We've had a lot of discussion about taxpayers wanting to come into the office to discuss their taxes. We have told them that it makes it difficult with how much money that we have in the office, as
Right.
well as confidential papers and taxpayers' information that is left out on
Sure.
our desk
Or
during
could be
office.
heard if we're on the
Yes.
phone with someone.
Right.
Right. So we we try to tell people we're here to help them as much as they can, but it is, we can take it to a different office up the hall in the boardroom. We can
Sure.
meet with somebody that way. So that way,
But you do meet with people.
And
you're-
we have
we
done
have-
that. We
yes.
have met them down the hall in the boardroom or one of the caucus rooms or so forth if they need more privacy.
Right, and talking about the things that you can help them with.
Yes.
And if nothing else, you call, you say, well, really, I think that maybe is a commissioner problem or a supervisor problem. And
Yes.
before you get it, yeah, it's tough. It's so much of that stuff is intertwined together, and just kind of deciding on who needs to do what, where the jobs are separated. It's important because you don't want to sit there and spend somebody an hour and say, oh, I can't help you. You got to go talk to Sherry.
Right.
Right.
And Starla.
Separation
It's
of
very,
duties.
Let me tell you what, it's very frustrating when you're working with the government, and you should be there to help people.
Yes.
And I know you are.
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's a lot of work. We appreciate everyone running.
Yes.
And I think it's good for the community to have some choice. And we
Yes.
do have a choice. And in almost all the elections, I hate to see it unopposed, but sometimes treasurer, the attorney, and a lot of those run unopposed because once someone gets in there and they're doing a good job, I think the public realizes, I don't want to change anything.
Yes.
So it happens, but we're appreciating everyone that decides to run because it's a lot of work and you learn a lot when you're doing that.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So we want to encourage everyone to vote. Early voting goes on till Saturday at 5:00, and
Yes.
then the big day is Tuesday.
Tuesday, the 7th.
And it starts at 6 in the morning, goes till 7 at night. And this is a county-wide race, so all precincts will have Allison's name on the ballot.
That's right.
So be sure you fill in that little bubble
Yes.
and do that. Anything else you want to add, Jamie?
Nope, I don't
Any
think
parting
so.
words of or are you just glad to go?
I'm not glad to go.
I know, I'm just
Yes.
kidding with you. You know that because we wanted you to stay. But we do appreciate it. You've worked hard these last few years, and I think you've
Yes.
made a big difference in our county treasurer's office. And you got some good
You
people.
have
Well,
a
thank
lot
you.
of sacrifices.
I think so too.
Yeah,
For sure. We've been through a lot.
We
but-
have.
been through a lot.
Yes.
But like you said, it all rolls downhill, and you guys are the last ones to get it.
That's
it. We appreciate it again. So we again remind everyone to vote. Early voting goes till Saturday 5:00, and Tuesday is the big day, 6 to 7. So be sure you vote. Thanks again,
Yes.
ladies. I appreciate it.
Thank you.